What's up, world? I'm Julian, and today I'm going to be fixing my leaky bathtub. See, I noticed a couple days ago that there's a slow leak coming out of here. You probably just saw that drip right there in that one. But yeah, it's been slowly dripping the past couple days, and I found today's a good day to fix it. So yesterday, when I was actually working on it, I went to Home Depot, I popped all these out, I grabbed me some new, I think it's called valve stems. I bought two new ones for the cold water and the hot water. But then once I put them back in, I realized it was still dripping. So then I realized behind all of the faucetness in here, there's a little black seal, rubber seal, in a spring behind that one and that one. So I'm going to replace it. But also when I was inside it yesterday, I realized that the hot water is messed up and not the cold water. But I figured might as well replace them both. Like I said, I bought two of these yesterday to replace cold and hot. Still leaks. But yeah, now I'm going to do the first step of fixing this, which is to run into the basement and turn off the hot and the cold water. So luckily for my basement, the hot water heater and the pipes that go up to the bathroom, to turn the faucet off, it's just right here. We have the cold and the hot. So I'm just going to turn them both all the way off. And these have some really long twists. So I'm just going to speed this up. Alright, so now both the cold and the hot water is off. I said luckily this is right in my basement behind the furnace and water heater. So that was cool. So now I'm going to run back upstairs. The only tools I actually need with these vice grips, this little Allen key to take off the hot and cold water hardware, and a bobby pin that I bent to get the seal from the inside of here. So now what I'm going to do is, like I said, water is turned off in the basement, so these do nothing anymore. But I've already loosened these up, so I'm just going to pop that off. And to get off this cover, it's already loose, so just use your fingers, twist it off. Alright, so now we exposed this pipe. Now I'm just going to use this wrench to just lightly squeeze and twist off. I left them pretty loose from last night. So these pop right off. And this stem to this piece that I replaced already. I said this is the old one and this is the new one. I thought originally it was this that was leaking, but it's actually deeper inside there. So now I wonder if I can get my flashlight so I can see inside the hole a little better. I guess you can kind of see it. But I'm just going to grab my bobby pin and fish out the seal that's inside there. Just like that. So this is the seal. This is the seal. It's just a simple little rubber seal with a spring. Rubber seal with a spring attached to it. So this is what's leaking on the inside of my tub. So now I took off the side for the cold water. Now I'm going to remove. My son is just yelling. I took off the cold, now I'm just going to do the exact same for the hot. It's the exact same process. And so this is the seal that I'm going to be replacing. I took both of them out because I've already, as I said, replaced the stem, what I thought was leaking. So now I'm just going to run to Home Depot and replace these two. I believe online, when I looked last night, these two seals with the springs were $4.97, so I'm going to go replace that, versus these were $10 a piece that I didn't need. But I have new hardware inside my bath, so that's good. So yeah, I'm going to run to Home Depot, grab these two seals, and I will be right back. So after a good round trip to Home Depot, I've come back with the seals that I needed. But like every Julian project in history, I was buy the wrong thing. So hopefully this is the right stuff. So I'm just gonna cut open. Alright, so this is the new seal and here's the old one. I'm looking at the two and I can kind of tell a difference between them, but we're just gonna put them in there and see how it turns out. So from yesterday, I learned the trick of getting the seal back inside is to using the little Allen key and having the seal and the spring on it so you can guide it all the way back. So, right there, and just use my finger and kind of push it in place. It's a little sideways. Yeah, I'm just gonna wiggle it more to get it all the way in. There we go. After, what, 15 minutes of wiggling my finger and the little Allen key, finally got the screw and the seal in there. If I can get a good angle. Yeah, that little black seal in there. Finally got it. So now we're just putting everything back into place. So luckily I left the whole stem assembly together. And that's just basically pushing that back in to there. Making sure it's the correct direction. I'm gonna put that on there. Yep, going down to turn on. So yep, that's good. So now we're just putting all of this back in. And so screw in that, get it hand tight, and then grab my wrench and just give it a little twist. Alright, that's that. Now I can put the cover back on. Get that right on the top and shove the handle and use my Allen and just tighten it back on there. Alright, so now the cold water seal has been replaced. Now it's to work on the hot water. It's the exact same process and it's probably going to take another 15 minutes to get it in there, so I'm just going to skip over the recording. So putting the hot water back on wasn't as nearly as hard as the cold water. I guess because I just knew what I'm doing. So now I'm going to run back into the basement so I can turn on the hot and cold water and see if I still leak. So I just ran into the basement and turned the hot water on and the cold water. So I'm going to get the air out of the system. And that's flowing out of the hot, flowing out the cold. And now I'm going to actually look back in to see if I am still dripping. Wait until the residuals come out. Just gonna shove my finger in there to speed up a little bit. Yeah, both knobs are off. I'm gonna flip the shower to the tub a couple times. And hopefully, after a couple moments, it will stop dripping. Oh, look at that. Not a single drip. It's been about 10 seconds. So I assume I have fixed it. So this was a fairly simple / difficult job. Not really difficult. But all the tools I had was just some vise, little Allen to take off the spouts, and this is my little tool chest, my cat. Replaced out these two. I think this is called the valve sims. Also replaced the seal that I just did there and now for the back of here. So hopefully the tub does not leak for the next, what, 5 or 6 years. I'm not sure what the seals and springs, what the behind it says. But hopefully this lasts, 5 or 6 years, not to do it again. But anyways, this is Julian Lawson, and that is how you stop a leaking faucet for the bathtub. Until next time, peace!